Hey everybody, John Like Outdoors. I'm going to give you a rundown here on my experience with the BioLite FirePit Plus. What I like, what I don't like, how it's held up. I have been using it for, this is going on 2 years now. So I have enough use on it to give you some worthwhile feedback. Let's take a closer look here. Okay, so overall it's a very simple setup. So you have your box here, it's got the onboard battery you can plug into it, which you'll never use, most likely, to charge your phone and stuff. But the battery does last like a very long time. Blower's built into it as well, into this same box here that comes off, like so. It's got the silicone gasket there to seal against this. When it's turned on, you have multiple different fan settings. It's really not too loud. I did have a different head box when I first got it and they replaced it for me. It was really loud for some reason, something wrong with the fan, but this one's been fine. Inside, so that thing blows into this chamber, which then blows air through that pipe right there. You can see it's got the holes drilled into the pipe, so it pushes air into the fire. So what's really good about that is, for my experience, it's been, I have like wet wood or wood that just doesn't really want to burn that well, and I can adjust the fan settings to make it burn effectively. So helps reduce the smoke and helps you burn not as higher quality wood. Works pretty well in that aspect. Obviously, this little guy, it's got the handles. You can raise it up and use it to cook on, or throw coal, charcoal on there, so you can cook above. I do have the whole setup, so I've got the cooking grate, I've got, the smoker top thing. It looks like a Weber grill on the top. I have that. I've got the griddle. I've got all that stuff, which I have used a few times, but I don't use it as much. I use it more for what it is, a fire pit. So it does look really cool when it is going. It does put off a lot of heat. Obviously, this metal mesh allows the radiant heat to get out. That's pretty good. It does pack up into a small space. If you are car camping, you can pack it up, put it in your vehicle, and fill the inside of this thing with wood or whatever else you might want to bring with. So it's not just dead space in your vehicle. You can actually use it. It does pack into a small space, which is nice. So the things I don't like on it, there's a couple. One, the overall material is a little too thin. As you can see, mine is pretty decently beat up. This handle's now loose. The corners are bent on here. The side's got some bends going on it. This end here has got some bends on it. It's been pretty well beat up. It's just not thick enough to really withstand good use very well. But it does work. It's also not stainless, so there's some spots here you can see where it's starting to rust. Just because the finish has been worn off from using the fire poker. As you're in here messing with stuff, and you kind of rub the finish off, and then it exposes the underlying metal to the air and moisture. But it hasn't deteriorated too crazily quickly or anything. I'm not concerned about it yet. My only concern has really just been this end down here with that. But the cooking grate does still slide on and off. Still works pretty good there. Legs fold in, all that stuff. So it's been good so far. I'll get it running for you and show you how that works. So for my fire starter, I'm going to use this. These little Bigfoot Bushcraft guys, these fire plugs. There's a few brands on the market that make stuff like this. This is just one of them. I do appreciate the price being pretty low compared to their competitors, so that's a plus. It's a fire starter. You're going to consume it and burn it. Why would you want to pay a lot of money on it? So we'll see how this works in there. And I'm going to use wood from my 15-acre hobby farm I got there in a tractor. Normally I'd be doing this in my campsite, but I want to sit up by the house and drink bourbon, so that's what we're going to do. And as you can see, fire starters are down in there. I got a lot of smaller sticks kind of built up on top of it. Should get burning. Again, when that thing pushes air, it'll push it to that bottom tube and also to these side tubes on both sides. Keep in mind with this, you'll get probably 3 good hours of burning, like with decent sized logs in here, before you got to empty out the bottom, which is not a big deal. There's a trap door down here. Pull it open, give the unit a shake to kind of get the the buildup of ash out and just close the thing back up and just keep on going. So just something to know, but at least you can do it without having to shut everything down. All right, as you can see, it's going. There's only 2 plugs in there. I've got the fan on the lowest setting. You can see there. You might be able to hear it with the phone next to it. It's pretty dang quiet. But what it's doing is it's continuously pumping oxygen into the fire, giving us a clean burn and helping get this thing started, like, extremely easily. I literally just lit this. So if I had an available hands to video and do this, I would have at the same time, but there you go. All right, so I'm just sitting here now letting her go. Grab some wood out of the tractor bucket there. This is the lowest setting on the blower. You can see it's going pretty good. I'm getting a little warm back up here in a minute. I could probably shut the fan off, but I do like keeping a good add of air to it to keep it burning hot. So I'll let her go. I'll throw some bigger logs on here in a second and let you see what that looks like. There you go. Threw some larger logs on there. Still got the blower on low. You can see there's not too much smoke going on. Just keep in mind there is no such thing as a true smokeless fire pit. It's just having more combustion helps reduce the smoke, which this one does pretty well. So yeah, in conclusion, this is a really good concept. The concept works very well. It burns that wet wood because you can adjust the blower over here to blow more air in as you need. The battery life is excellent. I'm talking 18 hours of battery life, depending on what setting you have it on. Being able to dump the ash out the bottom while you're still using the pit so that you don't basically fill up the bottom and no longer get airflow. That is really good. Downsides, material is a little too thin. It's not stainless steel construction. The overall construction is adequate, could be better, but it wins out in portability, usability, and ease of use. I would buy it again. I do suggest you take a good look at this one if you're curious about them. And yeah, if you have any questions, give me a shout. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And cheers.